Hello and welcome, everybody. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina with Impressive Warrior. Thank you so much for joining once again, or for the first time for some of you. We do things a little different. Those that know, every day is something just a little bit different. So let's go ahead and see what direction we want to go. Let's take a moment and take a few synchronizing breaths, settling our energies, and releasing anything that we bring, any troubles, any fears and anxieties at the door. And let's go ahead and settle our energies, getting a reading that helps us center, ground, and excel. Some success coming in. Let's see what the Kuan Yin Kali deck is going to give us for an overall energy. I did call in quite a few of the goddess energies today. All readings are intended to be timeless, but as some of you are watching these in real time, we are, -2 days from the U.S. presidential election. And yeah, some of us, I think, are still struggling. Others are happy. It seems to be quite a divided place at this time. And although I am going to be who I am going to be going forward, probably more powerful ways than before, I think that everybody's identity is entangled with the climate of governments and institutions and things such as that, and our lives are affected in real ways. So in any event, the world continues to turn, despite our urge to control or to dictate the outcome. The Tao always reminds us that the pendulum continues to swing from one extreme to the next, to honor both sides of the camp, and so on, and to keep us humble and unified in our diversity. So 10 Sisters of Light, card master number 33. Let's see, I got to cover up a couple of these. So there's our card there. In the darkness, all of these sisters, all of these goddess energies coming through. I believe this 10 Sisters of Light, for some of us, will be representative of the feminine line within our family, whether we're masculine or feminine, and that connection to, again, whether we're masculine or feminine, our own development of our inner sanctuary, our love, our compassion, our intuition and instinct, and so on. And it connects us to a heart space, especially, like we said, when things get all caught up and entangled with ego and identity, the roles that we play, the expectations that we hold. Seen a lot of synchronicities. I saw the 222 and the 333 so far. Let's see on the back of the deck here. Let's take a couple here. We've got Turquoise Lotus Mother, number 42. It definitely suggests that if you're using gemstones, or if you enjoy any type of gemstone or mineral or earth-based healing, to somehow sit in your own nature and your connection to your inner nature to help you to work through any types of personal expression or messages that are coming through you. Because there's some type of, with turquoise being the blue, it reminds me of communications. Then we have lotus, which is the spiritual knowledge and wisdom attained through challenge, and the mother. So communications with the mother through adversity here sits within this card. And there's this energy of softening and sanctuary and the embrace of the feminine energy here for you, if that's a confirmation. But it's also this stance in general that she depicts here is asking for us to be really deeply clued into our actual abundance right now, our spiritual mana and our sovereign energy here. It's like as above, so below here. There's some type of energy rustling. Look at that. We have another mother card here with the, is that the 13? Here, the yellow tiger mother, one of my most favorite cards. So with the Kuan Yin deck versus, this is a mixture with the Kali. Kali comes up next. She'll be heard here as well. It's 3 cards in a row now with Kuan Yin is reminding us to stay centered and serene amidst chaos, because that's when we are actually harnessing and not being devoured by our reactionary instincts to defend, which is also somewhat necessary at some times, especially when we have this here, the yellow tiger mother. It's like, it's the very empowered, instinctual, responsive nature that comes up to remind us to not only hear the 10 sisters of light that want to speak through us, whether that's spirit guides, guardians, ancestors, or the sisterhood and the covens and so on, and that those for the masculines as well, to be able to hear the call of this wilderness in the sisterhood is kind of how it wants to be said. And also our ancestors and the struggles that they went through. We're understanding their struggles here, and we're hearing the cries of our ancestors in this way. And the tiger mother reminds us to stay powerful and to stay centered and serene, where we can actually affect the most change. When we can actually hear the yellow tiger mother, that's the feminine and masculine interconnected with grace and truth and integrity. And so again, it's acting upon something that we are passionately inspired to take action towards, because it's something that matters. And so there's something being communicated, and there's a need for confidence. Let's see. Oh, number 20, Chinamasta, those that are sensitive. There's this depiction of Kali having really cut through something. It's like this card, it's talking about her severing her own beliefs about a situation, some kind of breakthrough energy where whatever blockage she previously had or held or so on the material plane, she in this way is continuing to persevere without any of these self-limiting beliefs anymore. It's like her energy has gone from perhaps extraneous energy, externalized energy, and it's become highly concentrated and brought into the solar plexus, into that creative energy. And in this depiction, I'll cover it here. Here we see also that third eye and crown jewel there being depicted as yellow. So I think that I'll get one more from the back here, another Kali card, maybe 2. Artha of Kali, number 36, depiction of the masculine. He's got yellow eyes. The turquoise lotus mother card as well is quite yellow. There's a lot of yellow, but Chinamasta has yellow around the base, but it's red as well. So we've got a lot of reds and yellows. And one more. Smashana, very empowered and activated feminine, again with that raised machete, which reminds me of something else. And then the lotuses are almost like thrown up and falling around her like embers from a fire. And she holds the head of some evildoer here over a sacred herbs, like interesting. Let's get okay, just kind of glancing. Yeah, we've got a few more Kelly cards under that. We'll just kind of give you a glance at that. Now we've got this orange energy coming through with the next 3 cards. I'll just give you a little glance at those. So, how do I want to say this? It looks like there's been some messages of light coming through. Moksha of Kali, it's softening here. Yes, there's some level of forgiveness coming in also following that empowered rampage energy here. So, okay, let's stop there. I know I'm not explaining these to you. I want to withhold some of my interpretations. I think that there's a lot of defensiveness and empowered activation. It's like how I want to see this is someone who is remembering something, that flooding back of memories or points of contention that now we are looking at in a new way because of this Shinamasta card with the taking one's own head off is almost giving the self-sabotage, but also to in order to break through. It's like pruning a tree back. You take off one of the branches, and sometimes you're just helping the plant consolidate its energy. Remember, we talked about that already at the beginning here. But it's also in other cases, if you trim off one of the branches, like on a geranium, I'm looking at all these geraniums around me here. If you trim one of any of its parts, basically, you can virtually root any part of it. And some people can even take one of the branches, cut it correctly, and just shove it literally in the dirt. And it'll just do it for itself in the proper conditions. Under the deck here, I'm seeing solar plexus where it was prosperity a moment ago. So in effect, what I'm seeing then is because of this self-pruning that we seem to be kind of talking about here. Just moving my Moldavite incense here. Give me a moment. Because of the self-pruning, we're also seeing her hold up this plate with her enemy's head, and in my mind's eye, I'm seeing the witnessing of the self as the enemy and breaking through in a creative way to witness, to shift our perceptions, to break through some type of crown issue, some limiting belief structure. With Artha of Kali, he's the warrior that gets straight. Now that he is in his plexus energy, it's glowing through his eyes. He's fired up. He knows what he wants to do. But Artha of Kali comes in with the divine masculine essence, realization, yes, with that energy of heart, then the turquoise of the higher heart's communication style, surrounded by the yellow of the plexus energy. So it's taking action, creative action based in integrity and heart-based truth here. I believe we talk here in the Artha of Kali about the good kill, and that he doesn't blindly strike out and take more than what he needs from the situation. And so it's kind of like I'm kind of going back and forth, feeling that instead of being destructive, there is something constructive about this deconstruction phase that I'm seeing here. And the deconstruction of faulty beliefs or things that are operating. There's this realization of some type of perception that's changing, empowering you to take a new stance here. But then with moksha, it's like down here we have this enlightenment, and then the Bagla Mukti card is this very empowered tiger mother energy, yet again coming out on top. It's like this empowering of the feminine. Yeah, so now we have soul time here in the bottom. So I do want to just kind of give us a little synopsis. Let's see. So with the Chinnamasta card here, it is called Sacred Severance is her radical grace. Our soul's power to shed, to survive, to outgrow, and evolve. And when the soul needs to separate itself from that on which it once relied, be it a view of ourselves or the world, or a group or a belief system that cannot support the truths of the heart, she is the capacity, sovereignty, and courage, that tiger mother courage required for self-liberation. Systems of oppression within your mind and or within your world or government will be overcome. You have the power to sever your attachment to the past and focus on inner regeneration, reorientation, and the healing, and then healing into a path that is worthy of your heart. Yes, that's the Artha of Kali here, with that empowered heart chakra realization here of our capacity to break through something in the past. And this leads into some of the pre-messages. It was like that to outgrow. That word in particular came through as the ability to outgrow our parents and specifically the father. So in different times, I have talked about mother-father wounds. It's one of the cards that comes up in the DIY cards. And, you know, sometimes we're quite proficient at operating with the way that our parents are because we grew up. It represents the foundational, original concepts that we hold for our sacred connection to our own identity, of our own sensitivity and our empowerment, just to oversimplify. And so representing whatever gender, you know, our ability to embrace kind of both of those hats in our own life is our own ability to be sovereign here. And so to outgrow the parents, it's like, if I could try to say this in as little sentence as possible, it's like the ability to validate ourselves and to not look for their approval, and to also, once we come up against any of these reemerging thoughts or emotions or memories, if we're triggered or if we're happy, to be able to put a proper perspective on that from the point of healing and from the point of heart-based understanding. We can understand how the trigger came to be, how the personality came to be, and how certain ways that we have limited ourselves are still codependent on some type of need to perhaps protect them from themselves, or to accept them because that's the unconditional lover within us, but at the same time to release ourselves from bondage with some of those things that continue to operate within our own biochemistry. I think that's the self-liberation movement we're talking about here. So I wanted to kind of put it into context. So 36, this Artha of Kali, I just love the way this is written. I hope that you guys don't mind when I do read these, because it's beautiful. Her heart contains the seeds of your soul and complete awareness of the divine destiny she's always intended for you. There's a sacred purpose for which you were born and a meaningful, divinely protected pathway for you to fulfill it. Only you can decide to put your faith and commitment into that path and to take one step at a time in honoring what has value to your heart, tuning into her loving plan. In taking those steps, the pathway will reveal itself and you shall attract great blessings that benefit all beings. So, this is you connecting to your heart based truth and the wherewithal to break through any limitations of confidence and sense of personal empowerment. And with Smashana, this is the number one card in this Kali deck. It says, she shines her blessing of divine deconstruction. We talked about that. Clearing away that which undermines any of your confidence or may inhibit your activity on your life path. She's clearing the way for us. With the courage born of unconditional trust, you can accept her fierce intervention in your life with openness to the positive changes that shall emerge as a result. So yes, she's clearing the way. And we see in this Kali deck, 0 depictions of Kali with her tongue extended. I'll just put that out there because that is her traditional depiction of the baby eater and so on. This is someone that is very emotionally managed, I want to say, and I saw 2121 at that time. So I don't want to read all of these. I don't think that it's necessary to get every single message, but Gauri Devi is the champion of the sweet souls with fierce hearts who may have been underestimated or passed over in some way. She who is gentle as the deer and ruthless as the lioness or the tigress, who is the capacity within the awakened heart to rise, to overcome obstacles, to have faith without any evidence of victory or validation, and to rally the spirit until the right moment to act and to win is then felt. She is nonconformity and the freedom to be one's true self. Recognize your own beauty and value, irrespective of whether another has the capacity to behold it at this time. You shall rise. I feel like that's outgrowing the parent's ability or our own inner ability to self-validate and to say things and to possibly not disrespect or avoid past negative experiences, but to grow so fully, exponentially in the moment from the recognition in there that you were the one that was the sovereignty that got you through. And if that then is the truth, then you are the way forward. And it's being cleared for you. We started this whole thing out with these 10 sisters of light. Below them is the sweeping Sister Willow, also in a yellow background. It's like being able to witness and then to redirect our energy from any awareness of what happened against us and to recall the better points of learning from those situations. Well, now I don't do that. Now I know better. Or now I am courageous. Now I have my own back. Now I attract positive things into my life. Now my life is a reflection of my inner beauty and not my fears. Now I reach for success. Now I don't allow others to disparage my person or my identity, whatever it is for you. So, yeah, so what else? I think Kali Kapali is kind of similar. She's the depiction with the ram horns as well as the Smashana card. She's got that Aryan energy. So Aries may be important to you. Aries is the warrior. So she's showing up, making very emotionally secure decisions for herself here. And she is wearing the in both of those cards, the 8 and the Smashana number 1 card. She's also wearing the necklace of skulls. And we've got something here talking about the decapitation process. So I think that you are also blowing some minds in some way, or, allowing and helping and assisting those that witness your transformation. You're helping them move through this. I think also this is evidence of your ancestors and the way that these 10 sisters of light or otherwise are with you now, and that you carry their energy, essence, and their hopes and dreams forward into the future. But to the extent that we can break through this limiting perception of perhaps not witnessing our confidence, courage, and our perseverance and our power from the beginning, that has perhaps we've been led to believe that it didn't exist. It's there. It's ready. And the drums with Doomvati, I saw the drums beginning to awaken that sisterhood within you and all of your Akashic heritage and your Akashic memories. And I think that we're riled up and upset for a reason to conjure the breath of our ancestors. And they're breathing that fire of the Tiger Mother into the solar plexus energy. And then it is for us to transmute that energy into the adjacent energies of the sacral chakra, that emotional well-being and belongingness and deservingness, as well as we see the heart chakra realization here, bringing it up into the heart space with compassion and forgiveness, detachment, lack of codependency or urge to fight. We wish to unite. So Kali Kapali, she who wears the mala of skulls around her neck, shall never abandon you. She shall be with you always, lifetime after lifetime, in unending tenderness and devotion, conjuring that which would alienate you from your truth or your creative power. Trust in the effectiveness of your prayers and requests for her assistance. She is here clearing the way. Here, have confidence in divine intervention. No matter how dire things may seem, you shall transform a negative experience into a positive one that honors your soul. Yes, the skull mala is a version of the prayer or mala beads used to call in and strengthen divine presence by using sacred sounds, yes, such as mantra, prayers, while counting the beads, or drums, rattles, anything that speaks to you in that way. Om symbols, connection, something here definitely about the way that we can help our energy and reprogram and reaffirm the self here. So here we go. This form arises in a reading when you need to know a sacred truth here. She will make sure that you find it, even if you would rather continue in peaceful ignorance for a little longer. This truth, however disruptive it may be, it is not a punishment. It is protection. You may not be able to see that at the time, but you will be grateful for the changes that come from her revelations later on. Skulls mark the passing of time. Trust that time may be your ally to heal and emerge anew. You will need faith, but in due time and in due course, you will learn how the universe has been supporting you in all ways when you feel restored and supported again. So yeah, last card, promises, folks. Yeah, I think I said I wasn't going to read them all. Doomvati says, beloved mother who dwells in the smoke, who presides over the most difficult transition, knows certain endings are unavoidable. They're necessary predecessors to radical reinvention. Her presence brings the message that though disappointment, defeat, or loss, and the negative repercussions of such experience may cause suffering or triggering for a time, they will not limit your future happiness. They are means for opening as yet unrecognized pathways for fulfillment. Your trust must be unconditional at this time, and later you shall see that everything has worked out for the absolute best. So, and it's interesting to remark that that's the 22 card. Then we have Moksha of Kali about that enlightenment and softening and timing card. Into the Bagla Mukti, the next one here is 23. So we have 22 and 23, bringing golden light of divine protection. She arrests the flow of any negativity that threatens to overwhelm you right now, that particularly that of our own making, to liberate ourselves from that self-liberating Chinnamasta card here. She is divine intervention and sacred activity. She transforms our karma from that which hinders our joy to that which creates true happiness and bliss for ourselves and all beings. As you seek refuge in her, you are protected from gossip, slander, and any forms of negativity from others. A positive turning of the tide and fortune has been predicted. So mote it be. So take your time to ground and work through anything that it's coming up for you. I see Divine Feminine here. We already know she is present and in the house. Divine Feminine 21. There's a lot of sisterhood and maiden mother crone energy coming through these last few weeks and months. Let's see, any other code cards for what we need to work through? I think we've covered quite a few already. I spent a lot of time on those cards for the reason of the Divine Feminine showing up so much. We now have Earth and Gaia, Mother Earth here. Is this talking about earth changes? Are we talking about some type of climate or natural disaster, natural things occurring, the evolution? Cosmic Flower talks quite a bit about evolution to me, and the way that things need to grow, shift, and change in a specific way. The great mystery evolving, and we are being reminded to trust that the mother is in charge here. I mean, Great Father is great as well, but I think that we have a great deal of feminine energy, Shakti rising energy coming in, particularly with the Aquarian age. These two want to be seen. We've got delight and empowerment. To empower the light literally within us, we need to be conduits for joy, trust, and peace, but empowered peace, empowered justice, and righteous redirection. So we need to honor those lower emotions and channel them into something quite intentional and productive. More light, more power, and in the proper conduit for true power is to empower the heart chakra, the realization of the work that's still to be done in our lives. There is magic in this situation. 31 magic. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And we have discernment with Cosmic Flower coming out. We'll be shown and seen the gifts in time. Yes, prosperity's under the deck now. We'll be seeing the gifts, and many of them will indeed follow the lotus energy and be spiritual